Send Help is a new survival, satirical, dark comedy, psychological thriller and horror film, written by Damien Shannon and Mark Swift, who've both written some shite. This was directed by the one and only Sam Raimi, and like many others, I've been a massive fan of his for a long time as a filmmaker. From watching the Evil Dead trilogy in my late teens, towards the Spider-Man trilogy during my childhood. And who can forget Darkman? Anyway, the latest from Raimi is a film about an employee and her insufferable boss who become stranded on a deserted island, the only survivors of a plane crash. Here, they must overcome past grievances and work together to make it out alive. I'm off to Vietnam at the end of this week, and as you see in the film itself, there is a plane crash scene that didn't help my nerves. But anyway, I had a good time watching Send Help. It was a delight, experiencing a new Sam Raimi film. Once again, it being a Raimi film, the directing felt intentionally over the top. The way he focuses on the satire, the dark humour, and the occasional moments of psychological thriller and horror. On an execution level, it all works, making the variety tone spot on. In addition, the film has great gore. There are lots of disgusting moments. You will find it to be enjoyable or uncomfortable, depending on you, the viewer. To me, the most disgusting moment had nothing to do with blood, but with a tuna fish sandwich. Oh god. Yuck. In the end, a lot of Raimi's familiar techniques worked. It was fun, it brought a smile to my face, and Send Help definitely felt like a Sam Raimi film. I thought the score by Danny Elfman was really good. It keeps the film going, and that also includes the solid cinematography by Bill Pope. The island itself has personality, and it does a pretty good job of showing all of its sides when it comes to exploration, isolation and insanity. The performances were fantastic, both from Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. You can tell they're having a lot of fun making this film with Sam Raimi, and they give it their best, especially the more ludicrous scenes. I found both of their characters to be interesting. Rachel McAdams plays this intelligent and awkward person in her professional and personal life, who's an obsessed fan of reality TV show about surviving on an island. Showing her intelligence, knowing how to survive, when her and her boss are stranded on the island. Dylan O'Brien's character is this selfish and bratty person, and right from the beginning of the film, you feel and believe what type of boss he is. What I also find interesting about the two main characters is their flaws and backgrounds, and you do feel some sort of sympathy and empathy for them both when they're, in all honesty, explaining their personal and difficult pasts. From a writing point of view, this makes them not always one-dimensional and not stereotypical characters, and I appreciated that. I really liked their chemistry. There are times when you feel they're going to work and help each other get off the island, and also build some relationship and put their differences aside for good. But then, there are times when you feel tension between them. You're just waiting for one of them to snap and kill the other person, and the film is unapologetic when things do get nasty between our two main characters. I felt sometimes that the film was going for that meaning known as sitting on the fence, which led me to feeling uncertain and afraid of them both as individuals, and when the story went fully insane, you keep on guessing on who is the crazier one here. With my issues, I felt the film was a little slow in the first act, but when the story gets to the island, it does pick up and eventually finds its feet. My main issue was the CGI. I wasn't a fan of any of it. It was overused a bit, and a lot of it looked ugly. There were times when I felt that this particular scene, or that particular scene, could have been captured practically. Sam Raimi is a filmmaker who has indeed used a lot of visual effects in his previous films, like the Spider-Man trilogy, but also practical effects, especially in the Evil Dead trilogy, and I think for a film like Send Help, the payoff would have been more effective and satisfying on a practical level. I do think some viewers won't like all of the reveals. They can be silly, and some may get really nitpicky with them. But I found most of the twists to be pretty hilarious, and I think it's best to not take this film that seriously at all. Send Help is a silly and self-aware film, and I had a good time. So those are my thoughts and opinions on Send Help. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please share your thoughts about the film in the comments below. As mentioned at the start of this video, I will be going to Vietnam at the end of this week, so there'll be no content for a while, probably not until March time. So, in the meantime, feel free to watch another video. Have a wonderful day, and until next time.